Okay, so I'm going to take you through the FigJam SFA application. SFA is short for Salesforce Automation System. So this application was typically developed to streamline processes and to help with monitoring and tracking of field teams. It could be your sales teams, it could be your merchandisers. So essentially, we're just looking at those team members of ours or field workers that are operating outside of the office environment. So it could be people that are going to visit customers to get orders. It could be your sales teams, could be your teams that are going out to merchandise. It could be your field teams or people that move to research and get data from a certain market. So that is our typical user of the FigJam SFA system. So the application is what I'll take you through, which is on the top left corner. So if you click open the application, the first thing that you'll have is the menu. So from the bottom going up, we've got exit. Exit just allows you to leave the application. Then we've got the sync feature. Sync feature allows you to upload and refresh. So I'll explain what that will look like. If you do a job, whether it's a photo that you've taken or you've done a quotation or an order and upload it into the system, but you are in an offline area or maybe your internet connection is poor, what will happen is that job will move into pending state until you get into an area where there's good network. So all you need to do is to tap sync. Sync will then upload everything that's been pending back to the back end. The sync feature also works in bi-directional mode, which means sync could be from the application to the back end, but sync is also from the back end to the application. So whether it's product prices that have been updated in the system, maybe it's stock levels that have been updated, once you run a sync, it means that on the application, your rep can then get up-to-date application. So that's how sync works. System gives you just an overview of the system, the technical information about the system, the application version you are using. This is what we also use to update the version to the latest version. And you can also do personal configurations for your own app just to help you to navigate better. Then I'll move on to activities. So activities of the day, it gives you a list of what you've done for the day. It shows the visits that you've made and then aggregates on the top right here how many quotations in total have you done, how many orders in total have you done, quick stock surveys, and so on. Then we have a product list. The product list gives you a list of the products or SKUs that you are dealing with, that you're selling or collecting orders for. So you've got the product description, you've got the product price, and you've got the stock on hand. So you can actually use this as well for your price list. The stock on hand gives you update of what is in stock at any given point. So it could be your stock that's sitting in your warehouse. We can get this information up to date through an admin who can then update all this information every day or at specific intervals depending on what we've agreed. It can also be easier on an integrated platform. So what that means is we can integrate into your ERP so that whatever stock as it is showing in your ERP, this is what the rep can get to see on the application. So once you click, it can then give you more information about each product line. For example, here, so you can see this is the category where this product falls, this is the product code, stock that's available in the warehouse, stock on hand, unit price, pack size, and so forth. Then from there we go to home. So home is where you get your your customer information. So customers that are sitting in my universe, in my territory, as they are assigned to me, will appear under home. So these are the customers that I get to service when I'm in my territory. So I'll then show you what it will look like when you make a visit for a day. So let's assume you're going to visit Bon Marché Borodale and that is your client for the day, your first visit for the day. So you can actually search for Bon Marché, and there it is. When you get to Bon Marché, you click Bon Marché, and then you do what is called a check-in. So the check-in feature allows us to do a couple of things. First of all, check-in enforces visit, because when you do check-in, the system auto picks up your GPS location pin. We can verify your GPS location pin that has been uploaded from the device versus what's in the system, and then it can give us an accurate picture of where you are when you did your visit. The application also has got a geofencing feature. The geofencing feature allows us to lock a client in a certain specific location, such that a rep cannot check in if they are not within that radius of where that location is. So geofence feature then enforces you to do your visit, because you can't check in if you are at home or somewhere that's outside of the specified radius in the system. Check-in also allows us to pick the location pin, the check-in time. So we know what time you have arrived. If you do a check-in at 11:43, then that is your visit time. And then at the bottom here, we also have your timer, which shows us how much time you have spent with the customer until you do your checkout. So we can tell that this person spent 30 minutes there, an hour there, and so forth, depending on your check-in and checkout time. So we've got a couple of features now on the system that you can make use of while you're doing your duties. So we know one of the essentials of any field team is capturing of visuals. Visuals can be maybe something that's interesting to the business. It could be a competitor, product that you've identified. It could be you capturing that I've arrived at this place. It could be visuals of maybe a merchandised shelf if you're merchandised and so forth. So at the top left here is our photo tool. So for you to access the photo tool, all you need to do is to click photo. Once you click photo, then it takes you to the camera. So what happens with the camera is, when capturing photos, the system doesn't allow you to capture a photo that's sitting in your gallery. It has to be a photo that you have captured with your camera in real time. So then you capture your photo. Once your photo is captured, you can add some notes, maybe new competitor product, new competition. So notes just allow you to capture a bit more context into what that photo is about. You can assign that photo to categories. So this category can be added as and when you need them to. So once you're done, then you can submit your photo, and in real time, the photo is submitted. Then we've got an ordering tool. So for you to capture orders, you no longer need to go through your sending orders through WhatsApp or order book and so on. You can use the order tool to upload orders in real time. So once you click orders, then it gives you a list of the SKUs, and for each SKU that you want to order, you just place the quantity, and then it auto calculates the price. So let's assume this is your order. Then you click finish. You can enter the order number. Then you can enter delivery date, so that you give information to stock controller about when that order will be expected to be delivered. So what is the delivery time? Then you've got your order summary here. VAT, if it attracts VAT, this is your grand total. This is the total weight, if there's weight, and volume, number of lines ordered. Once that is verified, you can put a comment to your order. Maybe it's to be delivered at Avondale. So you've entered information about your order. Then you can tell us who signed that order. Maybe it's Moyo, and then they can sign it off here, and your order is submitted in real time. So that's your ordering tool. We also have a survey tool for quick stock survey. So a quick stock survey is arrived in Bon Marché, and you want to see and to know how much stock is at Bon Marché right now, so that you monitor your stock levels. So we've got our quick stock survey. It's a very easy tool, simple tool. All you need to do is to indicate what's in and out of stock. So how you indicate, you just tap to report that it's out of stock. You tap to report this is out of stock. What's in stock, all you need to do is to enter the quantities. So then we can look at these surveys and be able to see what our stock levels are looking like for each SKU. So that's the quick stock survey. Then we also have product surveys. So product surveys are surveys that are product related. So you could be looking at your expiries, you could be looking at your product prices, you could be looking at your product condition, storage condition, and so forth. So these ones are built specifically upon your request, depending on what you want to monitor in terms of your product. But just for illustration purposes, we've got this retail survey here showing you for this line, product line, what is the shelf price. So that's what we're looking at. Maybe it's going for $5. Is there a competitor? Let's say Jade is the competitor. What is the competitor price? $6. So you can then eventually look at how our pricing is compared to what our competition is doing. We can look at other product surveys. For example, here we can look at your product condition. What is the condition of this product? It's good. What is the expiry date? Capture that. What is the storage condition? Bad. So that's how we make use of these product surveys to gather information relating to our market. Then we also have custom forms. So a custom form is a typical questionnaire, checklist, or any form of information data that you need to capture, especially qualitative data, but even quantitative data. So any data that we need to capture for our business. It could be customer feedback, it could be complaints, it could be KYC information. So instead of capturing all that information on a piece of paper or clipboard or in a book, we can build all that into a digital form that you can then make use of, so that you capture all the information that you want. So here we're looking at maybe customer feedback. What is the name of the customer? Tongai. What is their phone number? You can capture their phone number. What is their email address? You can enter email address. What is the customer query? You enter the query there. Any feedback from the customer, you put the feedback. You can assign a photo. Let's say it's a damaged product. So that we see where the complaint is coming from, you can actually capture a photo which you assign together with that form. Then the customer can sign off, and that can be submitted. So these forms, they come in all shapes and sizes and types. We can have a form looking at maybe KYCs, capturing KYCs. So you are capturing the company name, physical address, city, TIN number, and so forth. This is just KYC information, maybe for a new client that you want to onboard into your system. We can look at maybe someone is going to collect cash. So where have you filled in the cash that you've collected? We want it digitized and entered into the system. So this is where you pick the date, where have you collected the form, maybe it's a container number one, who's the salesperson, who is there, CT, what amount have you collected, 500, cash received, voucher number, you can enter the voucher number here, any comment after collection cash, you can put the comment, you can co-sign there, then you can capture the cash voucher if you've written maybe a physical one as evidence and upload it together with the form. So this is what we're looking at. These forms can be quite complex. We can even look at do your market survey. So for example, we've got this one here, product competitor survey. So we are looking at maybe Star Macaroni and saying, is this in stock? Yes. What size is available? How many units? Enter. Who supplied it? You enter the supplier's name. What is the shelf unit price? Is there a competing product on that shelf? What is competitor one? What size do they have? What price are they selling it for? For how many units? Is there a second competitor? Say no. You can enter opportunities you've identified, any comments on the store. You can attach a photo just like I showed you earlier. So that's how it works. Then the last thing is quotation. So for quotations, it works the same way. Someone wants a quotation. Instead of calling someone at the office and say, can you send a quotation of 600 units of that? You can just enter that in the system, click finish, and then it auto-generates. So as you can see, we've got our VAT here, amount, grand total, total weight, volume, lines ordered. Then you can enter the email address where this quotation is supposed to submit. It can be 2. If you want to add a comment, you can put a comment, signed off. Then this quotation is submitted to the client. So that's how a quotation will look like. When you're done with that, so you can see we spent 9 minutes 44 seconds here, and then you can check out of that customer site. Then additionally, what you can also do is you can use this system to prospect, which is to add a new customer on your customer list. So it could be someone that has just opened a new shop and you want to add it to your universe. So all you need to do is to come top right here and click new. Once you click new, here the store gives us the location pin of where that store is. Then you enter the store name, let's say Belgravia Supermarket. What category does it fall? It is under modern trade, store chain. Say it's under Belgravia, street location, 10, Avi, Belgravia, Harare, Zimbabwe country. Then you can enter the phone number, store contact person's name, contact number, then email address, then you can enter. So you can see Belgravia there is painting and it has just been added. So if you want to visit, then you can visit it and do the rest of the jobs. The last thing I'll show you in the app is how to add routes. So routes will help you to schedule and plan your visits so that your visits are not just haphazard. So what has been planned for today, if you come to routes, you can see this is the to-do list. This has not yet been done. Then you can see off-route visits. So these are visits that have been done but were not on the plan for the day. Then you can look at all routes, which shows you what has been done, what was off route, and what is still yet to be done. So for you to complete a visit, if it's scheduled for the day, you just click, for example, Clever Supermarket, open, and then you can check in and do what you need to do. Then you check out, and a visit has been fulfilled. Then the other thing, if you look at tomorrow, it will show you tomorrow's visits, Saturday, and so on. Then the other thing is, this app also allows you to plan. So let's say, for example, I want to go to brand sales tomorrow, which is the 11th. If I check tomorrow, you will see that brand sales has been added at the bottom here. You can also say, I want to go to Abbey Supermarket. This is a recurring visit every Friday, Saturday, and a Monday. Is from next week. It's from tomorrow up to 31 December 2025 of this year. Or you can say, I want to see them after every 9 days in that period. So once you do that, if you look at your calendar, every 10th day, you will have that visit. So this basically is the FigJam SFA app. Thank you.